Okay, so if you guys remember, this was yesterday's work where we solved for our inventory worksheet, right? I don't believe we actually journalized it. Did we journalize it? Yes, we did. We journalized the conversion entry and we completed this transaction. So we're going to go ahead and move on from the next section here, right? Because we finished question 1. So we're going to go ahead and do question 3. So again, it says continue the inventory from question number 1. Okay, and your inventory method is still periodic and it's still FIFO. Okay, but this time, right, on June 30th, we had a total of 1250 units on hand, right? That's exactly what we had. And let's take a look at our inventory real quick. So if you guys remember, right, let's see, we sold our first 800 right here, and then we sold a portion of the 850 here. So that means we need to carry our values over into the next worksheet. So I'm going to copy all this information into the inventory on hand, and then we'll go ahead and solve from there. So, because that's the first thing that question 3 asks, was that on June 30th we had a remaining of 1250 units. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and take a look. So here we have some of the 850, we have the 480, and then we have the 600 remaining. So let's go ahead and copy those numbers over into our inventory worksheet on hand section. Okay, make it a little bigger for you guys. Okay, so we know that we had X amount here. I believe this is what happened. We had 850, but we sold 680, so we should have 170 remaining there. All right, then we had the 480 and then this 600, I believe. Okay, now in this case, since we're using FIFO, we're going to copy the cost per unit here as well, because we need to solve for those numbers. But in this case, if you guys remember, right, we had to solve those cost per items or cost per units by taking a new total. So in this case, that's what we'll do right there. We'll go ahead and copy those totals over there so we can get a more accurate cost per item. So in this case, let's take a look at question number 1. The 600 was worth 1080, all right, and the 480 was worth 745. Okay, so let me copy those over into question 3. Okay. Okay, and then this one, right, we need to solve for what the remaining balance is. Oh, I did that one wrong. Okay, I meant to copy just these ones and make these bullet points. All right, so in this case, right, we need a grand total of 1250 units. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and put my equal sum, so we know that this is the amounts that we're going to copy over. In this case, because we are still going to be using the FIFO method, we need to make sure that we keep these batches in order as well. Okay. All right, so we know that this total amount is 1825. So therefore, we need to solve for what the rest of the remaining is going to be. Now, in this case, we know that the 850 that we started out with was a total of 1095, and we sold $876. So 1095 minus 876. Okay, gives us 219, which gives us a total of 2,044. And is that what we matched in our ending inventory? I believe so. All right. So our ending inventory was 1250 units at $2,044. So there you go. We just simply just carried the information over from this little goods available section and popped it into our inventory on hand. Okay. Then, of course, you're going to make sure that you have your cost per items here as well. Okay. Okay. So, there you go. Now, when we sell our items, we know exactly how much each cost is going to be, especially because we must keep it in order. In this case, we cannot bunch them up together because, think about it. Think of it like it's milk, right? If I bundle these all up together, all my old inventory together, right? I have some that expired this month or this day. I got some that expired this day and some that expired this day, right? I technically cannot do that. I need to keep it in the exact order that I purchased it. So this is the exact order that we purchased it, and we're keeping it that way. Okay? So that's my beginning inventory. That's what happens when we move on and continue on with the problem, is that it's going to carry over like this. Okay? Now, for question 4, I'm actually not going to have you guys journalize the whole thing because it's just rinse and repeat. So we're just only going to just do the conversion entry, okay? Save you guys some time here since you guys kind of pretty much understand how to journalize the purchases of everything. So let's go ahead and continue on with the scenario, okay? So here on July 5th, we purchased 500 toys at $1.65 with the freight costing $25. So 500, 165, and 25. I already forgot the numbers. So July 5th, okay, I think it was 500 at $1.65 with a freight of 25. So let's double check that real quick. Okay. Purchase 500 toys at $1.65 with a freight costing $25. Okay, there you go. $500, $1.65 with a freight of $25. So here, right, is my new batch of inventory, right? This section is all your purchases that you purchase. This right here is your beginning inventory. So, what is my total purchase price here? $825. Plus my freight of 25 gives me a total of
850.
850. Okay, so in this case, because I have to keep my batches together, what is going to be my cost per item here? Okay, a 1.7. Okay. Let's see if that number is actually more than that. Nope, it's 1.7. Okay. Good. Now on July 10, we end up purchasing another batch of inventory, but this time it's for 800 toys at a total of $1.80. Okay, and $40 of freight. Now, before we move on to this, what I'm going to have you guys do is let's go ahead and create that goods available column. So then we know what we actually have available versus go ahead and putting in there. Because right now we have purchases that we could potentially have, returns and stuff. So we need to know the actual amounts. So I'm going to go ahead and create my table right now so I don't forget to do it later. And when I get to that part, I don't go ahead and just stop everything and do everything again. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and do it now. So goods available. Okay. Obviously, we're going to copy over our beginning inventory because that is going to be part of our goods available. Okay, so I'm going to copy everything from here. So there we go. We have the first 1250, right? That's what happens when we have beginning inventory, especially when we use FIFO, right? This is the order that you're going to be taking out your batches of inventory for, right? Now, in this case, right, our first batch that we purchased on July 5th, there was no returns because in the next scenario for July 10th is we end up purchasing another batch of inventory. So that means this case right here, this batch of 500 actually was okay. There was nothing wrong with it. No returns were made. So in this case, I'm going to copy that as part of my goods available. Okay. So that's going to be part of my goods available. Right? So now I have a running balance. So now, right, let's go ahead and add that other transaction in there, right? For July 10, we purchased 800 toys at $1.80 with a freight of 40. So 800 at $1.80 and 40. So we have 800 at $1.80 and freight at 40. Okay? And this was for July 10. Okay? So in this case, what's my total purchase price here?
$1,440.
1,440 plus $40 gives me
1,480.
good. And right now, my cost per item is going to be
$185.
$1.85. Okay? So this is what you can do. You can transfer that amount over in here in case we do not have any returns and allowances. But in this case, we actually do know that we have a returns and allowance, right? Because on July 11th, you end up returning 100 defective toys for a full refund. Okay? So in this case, we have to adjust our purchase here because we opened up the box, we tried to test it out, all of the toys, and found that 100 of them are defective. Okay? So in this case, we're getting a full refund. Okay? So let's go to our little returns area. We're going to return 100 of those toys. Now, in this case, this was for the batch of inventory that we purchased on July 10. So in this case, how much does it cost per item that I can return? I can get a refund for. Okay. If I purchased inventory on July 10, right, and July 11 I make a refund or a return, and I'm returning 100 of those items at a full refund. At what cost?
Is it $1.80?
Yes. Yes, because $1.85 includes freight. You can't return freight. Okay? That was the cost of you getting the stuff to the store. You cannot refund that. So you will get a return only on the actual merchandise that you purchased. So in this case, right, I'm returning 100 items at $1.80. So in this case, my full refund is going to be for $180. Okay. So now this batch of inventory, right? I no longer actually have 800 items because I ended up returning 100 of those items. So in this case, I actually only have 700 items available. Okay. Now in this case, right? If you guys remember, my original bill was for a total of $14.80, right? That was my total accounts payable. But in this case, right, I end up getting a refund for $180. So therefore, my amount that I should be actually being charged for is going to be for 1,300 even, right? 1480 minus 180 is going to give you 1,300. So therefore, my cost per item is going to change because we have a new quantity and a new cost. So in this case, my formula here is going to be your total cost divided by your total quantity, right? Now in this case, because I end up returning my items, I need to spread the freight cost, the freight cost evenly amongst 700 items instead of 800 items. So in this case, what is going to be my cost per item if I sell this batch of inventory?
$1.8571.
Okay, 1.857857, yeah, 857,148. Good. Okay, good. So that's that batch of inventory right there. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what's next. Okay. So then on July 20th, we end up purchasing 300 toys at $1.85 with a freight cost of $15. Okay, so 300 at $1.85 and the freight cost is $15. Okay. So we got 300 at $1.85 with a freight cost of $15. So what's my purchase price here?
$555.
555, good. Plus 15,
$570.
570. Which then brings me my cost per item to be
$1.90.
$1.90. Good. Okay. Now let's see, did something happen to this batch of inventory? Okay. Then on July 21st, right, you returned 50 of the toys because they were the wrong color, but you were willing to accept a 20% discount. Okay? So 50 of those toys were the wrong color and you were willing to accept a 20% discount. Okay? All right, so let's go back to our returns and allowances. Right? Now, here's the question. Do we actually return those items? No, the vendor somehow convinced us to keep them, but reprimand us for their mistake by giving us a 20% discount. So in this case, no actual inventory was actually returned, right? Now, how much is it going to cost me because they're giving me a 20% discount off of 50 of those items because 50 of them were the wrong color. The remaining 250 were correct. So in this case, you can't discount the whole thing. You can only discount for just those 50 items because you're attempting to return them, okay? So at what cost is going to be each item?
$1.85.
$1.85, okay? So in this case, we need to calculate, right? We're trying to return 50 of those items at $1.85. But we're also getting a 20% discount. So how much is going to be my allowance for? How much am I going to be actually getting back? Or in this case, taken off from my actual amount that I owe? Okay, so I'm taking a 20% discount on returning 50 of those items?
$111?
111?
I think so.
Okay, so 50 times $1.85. How much you get there?
92.5.
Okay, and you're only giving a 20% discount.
Mm-hmm. $18 and a half. So
$18.50. That's how much you're actually going to be getting back. Okay.
So, okay, that's what you're getting back. Okay.
Yes, because in this case, right, we're not getting a discount off the entire amount of the 570, because in this case, right, 250 of those items are correct. You can't get a discount on something that is correct because you're not complaining about those items. You're only complaining or trying to attempt to return 50 of those items because they were the wrong color. But the vendor somehow convinced you, saying, hey, those items you could still sell, right? It could be a special edition or a limited edition toy. They're still good. They still work. They're just different colors. So in this case, right, that's getting validation that, hey, you could still sell them at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it's like it's not what you ordered. So they're trying to give you a 20% discount because they don't want you to, say, oh, no, this company doesn't work because they keep sending me the wrong stuff. No, it happens. A lot of shipments go out. Sometimes they'll accidentally ship you the wrong item because it might be on the same truck as the other items, and they might accidentally swap one of those boxes. Okay? So in this case, right, they only give you a 20% discount to say, we're sorry for the wrong shipment. But you know what? You guys can keep the items and we'll offer you the discount, right? And in this case, we're accepting the 20% discount. So there you go, right? Now in this case, our quantity did not change, right? Our quantity is still 300, right? However, because we received a discount, therefore our bill isn't going to reflect 570. It's going to reflect $18.50 less because that for this batch of inventory, we got a return or we got an allowance of $18.50. So therefore, you should get a total of $551.50 for this batch of inventory, right? Because we took the 570, right? That's the total amount that it was originally charging me for, and I got back $18.50. Right? So therefore, now we have a new quantity. Now we need to take this amount and spread it across the total amount of items that we have to get our cost per item. Okay? Which in this case, my total cost per item is going to be
$1.83, 1.83666.
okay. Good. Wait, you said 6? 1.83.
6667.
You took the 55150, right?
Okay. 50 divided by 300. Oh no. So 1.8383. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Let's see what's next. All right. So then here on July 25th, we purchased a total of 100 toys at $1.75 for the freight costing of $5. So, gonna plug that in here. 100 at $1.75. oops, July, it's July 25th. 100 items at $1.75 with a freight of $5. So in this case, how much is my total purchase price? Plus $5,
So 180.
180, which brings you a cost per item to be
$1.80.
Now, in this case, let's go ahead and take a look at the last thing that we have here, which is on July 31st, you have a total of 600 toys on hand. So our ending balance here is that we have 600 left. Okay. So therefore, we can confirm that this batch of inventory, nothing was wrong with it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add that 100 items right here. So we have a total of our calculation of our goods available. Okay. So here, this is where we need to sum up our quantities, okay? Because we have our total net purchases, our goods available down below, and our total purchase returns and allowances. So let's start with the first one. Let's start with the top, and then we'll make our way down to the bottom. So first thing is going to be your net purchases. What was my total net purchases? Or I guess in this case, what was my total purchases? Not net purchase. My total purchases. How many items did I buy? Originally.
$1,700.
We bought 1,700 items, okay? At what total purchase price? At what total purchase price did I make a total purchases for?
2,995.
Good. What was your total freight?
Five.
85?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which brings our total cost to be?
3,080.
Good, 3,080. Okay, this is our total original purchases, right? Now, let's go ahead and sum up our other columns, such as my goods available and my cost of goods. And my returns and allowances. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to do a little band right here so I can tell the difference, right? That these are all calculations. Okay. We'll make them this nice blue purple color. Okay. So what was my total goods available?
$2,850.
Good. What was my total cost for these goods available?
$49.25.50.
Mm-hmm. What was our total returns and allowances? How many items did I return?
100.
100. All right. What was my total cost of returning?
198.50.
198.50. Okay. So these numbers are very important because it will help us determine the rest of our inventory. So let's go ahead and fill in our net purchases. So we know that we purchased originally 1,700 items at $2,995. Okay. Our returns, right? We returned 100 items. Okay. At 198.50. Okay. At 198.50. Okay. So in this case, right, we know that if we had originally 1,700, but we returned 100 items, you should have 1,600 left. Same idea here, right? You started with 2,995 and you subtract 198.50. You should get a total of $2,796.50. Okay. For rate, adds nothing to quantity, but it does add, right? We have a total of $85 worth of freight. Okay. So therefore, total net purchases is going to be for 1,600 units at a total of $2,881.50. Okay. And then we had beginning inventory. What was the quantity of my beginning inventory?
1,700.
Beginning inventory?
1,200.
Yeah, 1,250 plus the amount was for 2,044, right? We know that from the previous one. We're going to carry the amounts that we solved in our net purchases. So here, what's my total goods available?
2,850. Oh,
Yes, 2,850, right? At a grand total of $4,925.50, which we do match right here in our table in the middle, right? This is our goods available, right? We match. Okay. Then we were given that on July 31st, you should have 600 items left on hand. So 600 is there. So therefore, what is going to be my cost of goods sold? If I have 600 items left and I started with 2,850 units, how much should I have sold?
2,250.
2,250. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a few blocks here. Okay. So here, let's go ahead and solve for our total cost of goods sold. So I'm going to go ahead and block off this part right here, and I'm going to make this my cost of goods sold. Okay. Okay. So let's start with one because we're going to be doing FIFO here. So first ones in are first ones to go. So in this case, let's take a look at our goods available batch, right? This is the total of inventories that I have available to choose from. So in this case, which one am I going to start off with first? Which one am I going to sell first?
170.
We're going to start off with 170, right? We're going to get rid of that whole entire amount. Hold on, sorry. I forgot to do my equal sum at the bottom, so I have a running balance. Okay, so in this case, right, we're going to use the FIFO method, right? We're going to take our first batch of 170, okay? So therefore, I sold a total of 170. Now, in this case, I'm going to get rid of the whole entire batch. So I'm going to carry them over here so you guys can see where it's coming from, okay? So I just sold $219 worth of inventory, right? I have a long way to go. So which batch is next?
The 480.
480, right? We're going to take the whole thing. Okay, which is going to cost me a total of $745. Okay. Okay. So then that's that. And then, so I sold right now 650 units. I have to sell a lot more. So in this case, right, which batch am I going to take out from next? Okay, we're going to take the whole thing out for a total of the 1080. Okay. So now we're at 1250, right? We still have how much more? We need to sell 1,000 more items. Okay. So in this case, which batch I'm going to take out from next?
The 500.
We're going to take out the 500. Okay. Which we're going to take the whole thing out, right? 500. So we know that's going to give me a total of $850. Okay. Now, how much more do I need to sell? Okay, I could do simple math. 2250 minus 1750.
You need 500.
You need 500 more. Good. Now, in this case, right, my next batch of inventory, right, is 700. Is that enough?
Yes, we just
Yes. But we only just need 500. So this is where we actually have to calculate our per unit cost, because in this case, right, I'm only taking 500. So this is where I have to use my equal round formula, right? Because I need to now calculate my per unit price. In this case, 500 times the 1.857143, all right, comma 2, right? How much is my grand total if I can sell 500 items at $857,143?
930.
$928.57. So no, you cannot round early for this one. Okay? Because we're going to round our numbers here. Okay. Good. So now my grand totals are here. Okay. So I sold a total of 2,250 items at a total cost of $3,822.57. So therefore, what is my total ending balance? Yep, 1,102.93 cents. Okay. Do you want me to color code them so you know where they all go, or are you guys okay?
It's okay.
You okay? You're okay?
Yes.
The
Okay.
only one I'm still a little confused on the calculation is the rounding one.
Okay, so in this case, right, we're selling 1,000 units, right? We're selling by the 1,000. Okay.
Okay.
If I were to, so I'm gonna mess up the screen just a bit, okay? If I were to sell, right, my item, let's say for example, this item right here, if I round this to 1.29, right, when it's supposed to be 1.288, right, that's the original price, right? And if I multiply this together, it's in grand total, that's going to give me 219.30 cents, right? Where originally it's only $219 even. Where did that extra 30 cents go? Okay. And if that's the case, right, if we sell out those extra 30 cents, let's say our prices, it was $5 each, right? Already we lost 70 cents to, or in this case, we lost 30 cents to instead of getting 30 cents profit, we lost those 30 cents. Okay.
Oh,
Yes. So for example, right? Let's say I sell each item at $5. If I cost it, right? What was that? 170 times 5, right? That would be 850. But if I cost it, right, at 219, okay, right? And the other one is rounded at $2.30. To find out my profit, right, take my selling price and subtract out my cost of goods sold. In this case, right, I lost 30 cents to profits because I cost it and rounded up too high. And as a business that's selling more than 1,000 items at a time, that's a very large margin that you're losing. Especially imagine how many more other items that you're costing out. So in this case, right, when we talk about conservatism, right, this isn't, and since we're doing financial accounting, we're not dealing with profits or margins or anything like that, or cost accounting. In this case, as a profit manager, you want every penny. You want to earn every single penny. You don't want to cut yourself too short because that's 30 cents right there you could have put in your pocket instead of 30 cents you're costing out. So that's the dangers of that idea right there, is rounding. Now, in this case, right, so that means I'm leaving my per unit price the way it is because I potentially could lose 30 cents right there. But here, the formula for equal rounding is that what happens is that when I calculate this, I'm trying to round it to the nearest penny because, right, we just did that, right? We just did the rounded, the cost per item. But in this case, if I were to do this, right, and in this case, this number is actually even. But let's pick a different number. Let's pick this number right here, right? If we just did this regular 500 at $1.85714, right? On my Excel, it shows me that it's 57 cents. But in reality, right, it's going to be 571439. Okay? Now, in my journal, can I charge my customers a what is that? A tenth of a penny? No, we have to make it rounded numbers because that's how that's how it is, right? You can't split a penny in front of the store. That's not realistic. That's not, you can't do that. It's impossible. So that's what I'm doing here is that instead of rounding early for the cost per item, I'm going to round the total cost. So then at the end of the day, it pans out even. Okay. So the reason why I also do the extra numbers here, the unrounded numbers, because it's actually going to give you a more accurate number. Okay. It's going to be more accurate versus something that if you round up for, right, you're going to get a rough estimate. So in this case, I'm being down to the very end of the penny, the 10th of a penny, right? Every penny counts. So I want to make sure I either earn or cost down to the very, very 10th of a penny, 10,000th of a penny, because that will give me a more accurate number. Right? So in this case, right, so the formula here is once again equal round, okay? The first argument is going to be whatever equation you want Excel to figure out. So in this case, I want it to figure out what quantity times my cost per item is, okay? And then I end my argument with a comma, okay? So part one is done. Now the last part of the argument is going to be how many decimal places do you want to round the number to? And in this case, I want 2 decimal places because that's rounding to the nearest penny. It stops at 2. So in this case, if I go ahead and put comma 2 and I press enter, notice this. It stops at 7 and it goes 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Where opposed, if I didn't do that, it was what? 7, 1, 4, yada, 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 right? So in this case, it stops at that 7 and the rest is zeroed out. Okay. Now, again, Excel is extremely smart. And of course, that rule where if it's 5, right, the ending number, if the rounded number is going to be determined by the number after, right, which is if it's a 5 or more, it's going to round up. Okay. Now you have to be very careful because there's very high possibilities of a split penny, right, where it's even. It's 8, 7, 5, right? That half of a penny can make a huge difference, especially if you are rounding it in your cost of goods sold and rounding it into your inventory, because you can potentially create a penny out of nowhere. So that's also one of the things that you have to make sure is that when you get that half of a penny, you have to make a decision which side are you going to round. Most cases, with conservatism, you always round your cost of goods sold because, you want to make sure that you don't overstate your assets. You don't want to ever claim more in your assets than it is that you claim more on your expenses. Okay? So that's that feature there, and that's the explanation why we must do so. Okay. All right, any other questions? All right. So let's go ahead and proceed to complete our journal entry. So question number 4, right? Since we finish our inventory worksheet, now we must complete the conversion entry. Okay. So for the conversion entry, what do we need to journalize?
This is the inventory purchased.
That's okay. That's things it's going to be in there, but that's not the first thing that we're going to journalize.
You should write the total.
We're going to do inventory, right? Our ending inventory comes first. Okay. What else are we going to recognize? Well, in this case, we know this specific item, right? We purchased toys. Okay.
purchase return and hello, I don't know how we say that.
The what?
Refund and
The allowances.
Okay, yes, we're gonna recognize the purchase returns and allowances. Good. Okay. What else are we gonna recognize?
Freight.
Freight. Okay.
but before you have the purchase expenses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And before that, you have purchase expense. Okay.
The goods sold.
Payable before.
Co-
Andy, please.
Cost of goods sold. Okay. Is that all?
Our accounts payable.
Okay, so in this case, we're just dealing with inventory, so no accounts payable is necessary.
The end inventory.
We do have the ending inventory. It's the first thing that we listed.
But we have the remaining inventory. No, we have another.
Right, so I think Isabel, I think what you're trying to say is we have beginning inventory. Yes? From the previous one?
Yes. So the first one is the ending
Mm-hmm.
inventory. And so the beginning is we have brain inventory again. So it's the rest what we have, no?
Yes, okay. So this would be beginning inventory. So again, I'll have you guys, I'll allow you to do this so you guys know that this one is ending inventory. Oopsies, toys, which is ending. Okay, ending inventory. Let me type it in there. And then you have beginning inventory at the bottom. Okay. So remember, because first in, first out, right? We got rid of everything that we started out with, right? We got rid of our beginning inventory. So in this case, this is exactly how we journalize when we get rid of our inventory, right? Instead of increasing our assets, we're decreasing it because we don't have the inventory items anymore. We got rid of it. We sold it. So in this case, we must credit our inventory account because we got rid of everything that we started out with. Okay? So now let's go ahead and plug in our numbers. So number one is going to be, what was my total ending inventory?
600.
Okay, my total cost.
1,102.90.
Good. All right, what was my total cost of goods sold?
3,822.57.
Good. What was my total purchase returns and allowances? What was my total purchase returns and allowances?
2,995.
No. My total purchase returns and allowances?
2,850.
The 198.50.
The 198.50 is my returns and allowances, not purchases, my purchase returns and allowances. Okay. All right. Now, Isabel, what was my total purchases, my original purchases?
The original is $2,995.
Correct. What was my freight cost?
85.
Yes, 85. Okay. And then last but not least, what was my beginning inventory amount?
2044.
2044. Okay. So again, let's double confirm that we did our accounting correctly by making sure that our debits match our credits. So I have a total of 5,124 on the left, and I have a total of 5,124 on the right. So, yay. Good job. Okay. Good. So,
Mhm.
you had a question?
I have, yes, that's because the inventory, that's because it's FIFO or is the same with LIFO, LIFO too and the rest. You
For the
always put the ending inventory. Go ahead.
yes. Okay, so in this case, everything's gonna look identical between all three different calculations, right? The journal's gonna look all identical. The only difference is how you calculate. So in this case, this exact journal that you just wrote is going to be the same for LIFO, the same for weighted average. Okay, all right. The only difference is the numbers that you put in. Your total debits and your total credits are going to be different because you're going to be calculating it differently. But the journal will look the same, right? Purchase expense, freight expense, right? Purchase returns and allowances, accounts payable, whatever accounts that you use, they're all going to look identical. The only difference is how you calculate the cost. Okay? Good. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first example so then we kind of get it, so you understand like when we do this, right? It's going to look identical. It's going to look exactly the same. The only difference is just the numbers that you calculate. So question number 5, right? Now this time your inventory method is periodic and it's LIFO. Okay, assume that all purchases were made on an account and round to the nearest penny. So in this case, right, I'm not going to have you guys practice journalizing because it's the same thing, purchase expense, freight expense. So what I'm going to have you guys do is just go ahead and assume and then just go ahead and do the rest of this scenario, right? Plug it into the inventory worksheets, what I'm going to ask you guys to do. Now here, I'm not, so question 5 and 6, right? They're going to be a different month, but however, they're not going to be continuations, okay? We're not going to be building upon and upon and upon and upon, okay? So in this case, we're assuming in August, we're starting fresh all over again, okay? So August 5th, right? That means we're starting a whole batch of new inventory, and this time we are using LIFO instead. So here we go, August 5th, we purchased a total of 1,200 toys at $1 each and a freight costing $50. Okay. So 1,200 toys at $1 each with a freight of $50. So question number 5. Okay. We're going to go ahead and it is August 5th now. Okay. We purchased 1,200 items at $1 each with a freight of $50. Okay, so here we're starting inventory all over again. Okay. Okay. So in this case, what was my total purchase price here?
$1,200.
$1,200, okay. What is my total cost?
$1,250.
$1,250. And what is going to be my cost per unit or cost per item?
104.16.
Good. All right, so we're assuming that that's our first batch of inventory. So let's go ahead and read on. Okay. August 7th, okay, you end up returning 200 toys. They were the wrong color, and you're willing to accept a 20% discount. So they convince you to keep the items because you could still sell them. They're just different colors. And if they are giving you a 20% discount off of the 200 items that you are returning because they shipped you the wrong amount or the wrong items. They're not the ones that you want. So in this case, you're willing to accept the 20% discount. Okay? So 200 toys, wrong color, accept 20% discount. Okay? So I'm going to go down below to my returns and allowances section. Did I return any items?
No.
No. However, how much is each item going to cost me?
$1.
It's going to cost me $1, okay? And if I'm attempting to return 200 of them, right, because 200 of them were the wrong color, right, I'm only getting a 20% discount off of this. So what is going to be 20%?
$40.
It's going to be $40. Okay, good. 20% of 200 is going to give you $40. Okay. So in this case now, right, I have adjustment to my total cost because my original bill was for $12.50. But in this case, I got a refund for $40. So in this case, I need to adjust my inventory. So I'm going to create my table once again for the goods available. Okay. And in this case, right, I still have my full 1,200 items. However, right, if my original bill was $12.50, but I end up getting a refund for $40. So therefore, my total amount that I owe is now $12.10. So now that I have $12.10 cost, I need to now recalculate my cost per item because now I need to know how much is each item going to cost me to get a grand total of $12.10.
It is 1,210. What is it from?
1,210?
Yeah,
What was your original amount for purchasing the 1,200 items?
1,200. But you have a $40 discount. Oh, you add. Sorry, I got it. Yeah, I just added. No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, I just added. Sorry.
No worries. If that confuses you, you could do it this way too, where you take your 1,200, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to subtract the $40 because that's what you got returned. But you still have to add the freight to get your total cost.
Yep.
Okay, to get your 1,210.
No, I subtract the $40. I add the $40. I didn't subtract.
Okay. I see what you got. Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Yes, so there you go, 1,210. Now we need to recalculate it because now, right, I need to know how many each item is going to cost me to get a grand total of $12.10. So in this case, what is going to be my new cost per item?
$1.0083.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Right? So next part here, let's see what the next scenario says. So then on August 10, you end up purchasing another 750 toys at $1.25 with a freight of 45. So 750 at 125, 45. 750 at 125, freight was 45. Okay. So this was August 10. Okay. What's my purchase price here?
Nine
930.
thirty-seven. I'm sorry.
937.50, good. Plus 45.
982.50.
982.50, okay, which brings my cost per item to be
$1.31.
$1.31. Okay. Now, of course, what you could have done too is like now that we have the purchase of inventory, right? You could just put it into your goods available, and if you have a return, then you just subtract that batch out. But in this case, I already know that the next segment here, or the next scenario, on August 11th, we end up returning 50 of those toys, and they were broken, and we got a full refund for it. Okay? So 50 of those toys were broken, all right, and we got a full refund. Okay? So in this case, returns and allowance, right? We returned 50 of those items. At what cost or at what unit price was this batch of inventory I'm getting a refund for?
$1.25.
It was $1.25. So therefore, what is your total cost here?
$62.50.
$62.50. Okay. So now we got to come here because now we no longer have 750 items anymore, right? We end up returning 50 of them because they were broken. So in this case, we actually only have 700 left, right? And because we got a refund, right? Our original $982.50 isn't there, right? Because we end up returning $62.50. So therefore, I should get a grand total cost of $920. Right? So now that I have a new quantity and a new cost, or new total cost, right? I need to refigure out what my cost per item is. In this case, it is
$1.3142.
good. 13142. Okay. So then let's go ahead and see what the next segment here is. Okay. Then we have August 20th. We end up purchasing 400 toys at $1.50 with a freight costing $25. So 400 items, okay, at 400 items at $1.50 for a freight of $25. So $400, $1.50, $25. $400, $1.50, 25. Okay. On August 20. Okay. So what is my total purchase price here?
600.
600. Good. Plus $25.
625.
Cost per item.
$56.25.
Good. Okay. $56.25. Okay. Now in this case, okay, so let's see what's next. Okay. Then on August 25th, we purchased another batch of inventory for 600 toys at $1.75 with a freight of 30. So 600 at $1.75 and 30. 600 at $1.75 with a freight of 30. Yes, okay. So let's see here. And this was on August 25th. What is my total purchase price?
1,050.
Good. Plus 30?
1,080.
1080. And my cost per item, $1.80. Okay. So in this case, right, we know that our batch of inventory on August 20th, there was nothing wrong with it. We didn't make any returns. So I'm going to carry that information over down below, saying, well, we definitely for surely have our 400 items, okay, at $1.5625, which is a total of $625. Okay. But then on the 26th of August, right, we end up returning 25 defective toys for a full refund. Okay? So 25 of those toys are defective and we asked for a full refund. So back down to my returns and allowances, we have 25 returned. Now in this case, what is my unit cost that I originally purchased this batch of inventory for? How much did it cost me per toy?
$1.75.
$1.75. Good. Okay. So in this case, I'm getting a full refund because they're defective. I can't sell those anymore. Oops. Oops, I'm in the wrong cell. For $1.75. So in this case, I'm getting a full refund. So what's my total amount here?
$43.75.
43.75 cents. So therefore, right, my batch that I purchased for 600 items, I end up returning 25 of them. Okay. And I also got a refund. So in this case, right, my total cost of 1080 is no longer going to be 1080 because I end up returning $43.75. So therefore, I should have a new cost of $1036.25. Okay, so now that I have a new total quantity and a new cost, I need to recalculate my cost per item. Okay, so in this case, how much is going to be my cost per item?
It's $1.82. It is 80217.
Good, excellent, right? Because we have less cost and less to spread across over. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and keep seeing what the next section is. So then on August 31st, right, you have a total of 1,500 toys on hand. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and plug that number into my bottom window here for my ending inventory because I have a total of 1,500 items left. Okay. So let's go ahead and solve for my numbers here. What was my total amount of purchases? So how many items did I actually purchase in grand total?
2,950.
29.50. Okay, what was my total purchase price?
$37.87.50.
37.87.50. Good. What was my total freight?
150.
150. And what was my total cost?
39.37.50.
39.37.50. Okay, good. Let's also solve for our goods available, okay, as well as my returns and allowances. Okay. So, how much goods available do I actually have now that I adjusted my inventory and whatnot? How much do I actually have available?
2,875.
2,875. Okay, at what total cost?
$3,791.25.
Good. Okay. What was my total quantity, or what was my total quantity that I returned?
75.
75 at a total refund for
146.25.
good. Okay. All right, so now that I summed up my columns, let's go ahead and plug our numbers in for our little thing over here. So my total net purchases, right? I purchased originally 2,950 items at a total cost of $37.87.50. Okay. I end up returning 75 of those items, which cost me a total of $146.25. Okay. So in this case, right, I should have now a new quantity of 2,875 at a new cost because I got a refund, right? I got a refund. All right, for now, $3,641.25. Okay. Freight, once again, adds no quantity, but it does add $150 worth of freight in cost. So therefore, you should have 2,875 items, okay, at a grand total of $3,791.25, okay? Which, because we don't have beginning inventory, that also means that's exactly what our goods available is, okay? Right? Because right here, no beginning inventory, right? We're going to carry our net purchases down, which then, of course, we know becomes our net purchases. Okay. So, because we were given that we had 1,500 items available left in our inventory, how many items did we actually sell?
1,375.
Good. All right. So now we need to solve for our cost of goods sold. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna highlight this. All right. All right, so I'm making my sum totals here so I have a running balance at all times so I can figure out my numbers. And I'm going to create my table, and this one's going to be my cost of goods sold. Okay. So because we're doing LIFO now, okay, right? We switched gears. So now we're doing LIFO. So in this case, which batch am I going to sell out first?
The 575.
The 575 is going to go out first, right? And we sold a total of 1,375. So in this case, right, we're going to get rid of this whole entire batch here. Okay. All right. If you are good at Excel, right, and you know that you could use the strike through, you could do that too, so you can keep track of your goods available if you'd like as well. Like you could strike through it so you know that you got rid of it. Okay. So now, how many more items do I need to sell?
$800.
We need to sell 800 more. So in this case, the next batch of inventory we're going to be looking at is
The 400.
it's the 400. So since we know we need 800, 400 covers half of it. So therefore, that's another 625. Okay. And then again, if we need a total of 1375 minus 975 should give you 400. So therefore, right? What's the next batch of inventory we're going to take out from?
400 from the 700.
400 from the 700. So in this case, we need to calculate our cost per item because we're not going to take all of it. We're only going to take some of it. So in this case, right, we need to multiply 400 of those items, which cost $1,314,286, right, comma 2, to get a grand total for selling 400 items to be
525.68.
in this case, I don't know how many decimal places that you stopped at, but I think you might have rounded it a little too short. So in this case, it's 525.71. Yeah. Okay. So now, here we have it. So in this case, for selling a total of $1,375, it's going to cost me a grand total of $2,185.96. So therefore, what is my total ending inventory?
$1,604.29.
1604.29. So once again, we're done with this inventory worksheet, right? We finished it. So let's go ahead and plug in our answers to do our conversion entry, okay? Now, in this case, like I've mentioned before, you're going to notice that everything's going to look identical. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste this over because these are the exact accounts that we need to do our conversion entry. Okay. The only difference is we don't have beginning inventory, so that's how we're going to do it. It is August 31st. Okay. So let's start with the first one. What was the total cost of my ending inventory? $1604.29. What is the total cost of my goods sold?
$2186.96.
Good. What was my total purchase returns and allowances?
$2,875.
I don't see 10,175.
2,000.
2,800. Okay, so in this case, I'm looking for my total returns and allowances.
So the 146.25.
146, yes. Okay. So it goes purchase returns and allowances, right? We calculate how much we got a refund for, right? That's what I'm asking you right here. Now, in this case, what is my total original purchases?
2,875.
Okay, so that's the quantity. And that's the wrong quantity. My original purchases. What did I originally purchase?
3,787.5.
That is correct. Okay, what was my total freight?
150.
150. So once again, do your equal sum so you can make sure that your debits match your credit. So I have a total of 3,937.50 on the left for a total of 3,937.50 on the right. Okay. Good. Good. So let's go ahead and stop here for now. Okay. And when we come back, we'll do question 7 through the rest. Okay. Because remember, moving average is very quick, it goes by really fast. This one, not so fast. Okay. So let's go ahead and stop here for break. Okay. Right now is exactly 3 o'clock.